would like to join us, would you please stand with your hands outstretched in this manner? Head slightly bowed. Follow me in the Muslim prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, sole Master of this day of judgment in which we now live. Thee alone do we serve, and Thee alone do we beseech for Thy aid. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom Thou hast bestowed favors, not the path of those upon whom Thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray after they have heard Thy teachings. Say He, Allah, is one God. Allah is He whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is He begotten, and none is like Thee. And I bear witness that nothing or no one deserves to be served or worshipped besides Thee. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is Thy true servant and last apostle. I mean. You may be seated. In the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad, and in the name of his last and most surely his greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I greet my brothers and sisters in the nation greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, first of all, we'd like to welcome you to our dedication ceremonies for the Final Call Administrative Building. And on behalf of Brother Louis Farrakhan, who is the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we'd like to welcome you and thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. As many of you know, or some of you may not know, this afternoon's program is being broadcast over station WBEE 1570 on your AM dial. And from this location, each and every Sunday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Brother Louis Farrakhan will broadcast a live radio program from here. So the people throughout the Chicago area will be able to hear his lectures. Brother Farrakhan has promised us a series of lectures called Respect for Life. And I feel that these lectures going out to the city of Chicago will help black people in the total metropolitan area. So I want to welcome you. And as we greeted you, Assalamu alaikum and peace, which as Brother Farrakhan writes in his book, 7 Speeches, is a better greeting than hello. Because as he said, hell is low, and we know that. And what black people need is peace. So the greetings of Assalamu alaikum is a greetings of peace that Muslims give to each other, and Allah knows that the world needs peace right now. So before we hear from Brother Farrakhan, I want to say a few words and welcome some special guests that we have with us this afternoon. And for those brothers and sisters who are in the radio listening audience who may have driven by this building and they saw the sign, the Final Call, they say, what's that? Some of them have not read the newspaper. Some brothers and sisters are not up on the work that Brother Farrakhan has been doing in rebuilding the Nation of Islam under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So I want to take just a few minutes to give you some background of the work that Brother Farrakhan is doing, recognize special guests who have come in to be with us this afternoon, and then we're going to hear from Brother Louis Farrakhan himself. It's difficult for my brothers and sisters who are listening to me on the radio. It's difficult sometimes to say Brother Louis Farrakhan because the world knows him as Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he is indeed a minister of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But in order to help with our development and our growing awareness and growing responsibility as brothers and sisters helping him in this work, Brother Farrakhan said he wants to teach us to be brothers first, and then later on we can address ourselves by those titles. So he himself has given up the title of minister, but we know that he is the minister because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made him just that. All praise is due to Allah. So, brothers and sisters, let me take a few minutes. And this, I know there are many brothers and sisters who are with us this afternoon that you are familiar with the work that Brother Farrakhan is doing because you stay up with him. As we walked the streets, 79th Street the other day, one of the brothers in the street came up and said to us, I was with Brother Farrakhan, he didn't know it was Brother Farrakhan. He said, when you gonna open, brother? We said, Sunday. He said, is Louis Farrakhan gonna be there? I said, yes, sir. Louis Farrakhan was right there. He said, that's good, because this brother talks to the people. He understands. He speaks to the gut issue, and the brother was into it. He said, if he gonna be there, I'm gonna be there, because that's my man. And here's Brother Farrakhan standing right there. But what it represented was a sign that Brother Farrakhan's speech, yes, God has blessed him with a golden tongue. Blessed him with the ability to talk into the hearts of black people throughout America, but it's more than just a speech, it's touching the core of the black man. The things that pain black people that they want to say but don't know how to articulate it, Brother Farrakhan talks into that. His love of black people and the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to redeem black people is what you hear coming out of his mouth, and it strikes the core of the soul, the heart, the spirit, and the mind of black people throughout the country. So Brother Farrakhan's work in rebuilding the Nation of Islam is like a spiritual man first. And I want to take the spiritual man first because he's over everything else. When a man is seeking God's favor, he's always feeling for what he knows would please God. He may have to make a step and he has to ask himself, will this please God? And if he takes a step and it doesn't come out the way that he feels it should, then he's careful of how he moves forward. That's a spiritual man. If a spiritual man is doing something and God is blessing him and all of a sudden things change, then he looks at, have I made a change? Did I stop praying? Did I stop giving recognition? Did I stop showing concern for the poor and the elderly and the sick? You know, the things that I have done that make a change is this caused the condition to change. Then there's the businessman. If the businessman is involved in something and he's making money, he's successful. He's doing it just right. And all of a sudden he has a new idea. Somebody introduces him to something new. And he begins to change, and all of a sudden he loses money. He loses this, his ability to make things happen. Then he looks at the change that he has made. And he says, well, I better go back to that established course because the way I was doing it before, at least I was successful. That's the spiritual man and the businessman. So in this work of rebuilding the Nation of Islam, Brother Farrakhan, as a follower and a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for many years, watched the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad affect millions of black people throughout the world. And then as we went through a terrible change ourselves and we changed that direction, we saw that we didn't have the same effect to affect black people throughout America and throughout the world. We saw the things that we had falling apart. We saw that we had no more control over things that we controlled yesterday. We saw the wealth that God had blessed us with leaving. So a man that comes alive says, well, I must be doing something wrong. It must be the change of direction. So this is what we have to look at. We have to look at the change that has been made. So when Brother Farrakhan had almost 3 years to stand back and look at it, and he's not like a brother who is just in the Nation of Islam. Here was a brother taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, represented him throughout the world. Here's a brother that had affected millions of black people across this country by speaking for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad every week. Here are black people who are in Islam because they heard Brother Farrakhan working in behalf of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaching his word, and he had to stand back and look at it. And he saw that after studying certain things, that he saw the reason that we're not doing what we were able to do yesterday is because we left the right path given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So when God blessed him to see his way back to that path and begin to talk the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, God made him see the fruits of that work. Now, any businessman, and I'm saying a businessman because sometimes the spiritual qualities are not there. If a man is in business, he can see the same thing. There's certain business principles, laws of success. I was using them yesterday, and when I let them go, I begin to fail. So today I have to start using them again. So I'm saying that to give you a thumbnail capsule of the work of Brother Farrakhan in rebuilding the Nation of Islam. It's a tried and proven cause, and we have been successful with it when the messenger was here, and now that Brother Farrakhan has lifted up his name and begun to preach him again, we are successful again. So I want to say that to especially my brothers and sisters who just know the name Farrakhan, and he's a fireball speaker. He talks to black people. What is he doing? He's rebuilding the Nation of Islam under the guidelines and the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So brothers and sisters, as you listen each week, and as Brother Farrakhan has said to us many times, he said, brother, we must teach the respect for life because that's teaching the respect for self. And he wants to teach the character building subjects that will help black people in every walk of life. As you turn on the radio in the morning and listen to the preachers as they're teaching subjects from the Bible and reaching out for whatever religious persuasion they may be in, they're trying to get people to do what they feel would please God and better their own lives. And as Muslims and followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, this is our work. So the radio ministry has been an important ministry to black people in America, but as you listen to the ministry of Brother Louis Farrakhan under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you will hear a new gospel and a new ministry. You will hear something that you can use Monday morning when you go back to work. You will hear something that as you face the rigors of life and the hurdles in life that many people trip and fall over, you'll hear something that will help you clear the hurdles, that will allow you to wrestle with the things in life that tear people down if you listen to this program every Sunday at 1 o'clock on station WBEE. So brothers and sisters, we're here this afternoon to dedicate our building and start our work. From this building, Brother Farrakhan will administer the work of rebuilding the nation nationally across the country. And so he has invited in many of the brothers who are helping in the field, brothers who are helping and trying to qualify for the post of ministry. These brothers are from every corner of the country, and we want to take a minute to welcome them and our other special guests. I'd like to call their names, and they're to my right and to my left, and they will stand. And please hold your applause at the end. We can give them a round of applause, and we'd like to move right on. We have Brother James from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Brother Kenneth from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Brother Anthony from Newark, New Jersey. Brother Lawrence from Denver. Brother Vaughn from Jacksonville. Brother Van from Youngstown, Ohio. Brother Dennis from Buffalo, New York. Brother Donnell from Columbus, Ohio. Minister Alfred, or Brother Alfred, from Jackson, Mississippi. Brother Harold from Cincinnati. Brother Billy from Oakland, California. Brother Randolph from Los Angeles, California. Brother James from Miami, Florida. Brother Richard from Kansas City. Brother Thomas from Richmond, Virginia. Brother Michael from Griffin, Georgia. Brother James from Seattle, Washington. Brother Willie James from Griffin, Georgia. Brother Stanley from Macon, Georgia. The brothers behind you, I can't see it. Brother Roland from Cleveland. Brother Harold from Chester. Brother Mark from New Orleans. And Brother John from Memphis, Tennessee. Also, we have on the roster Dr. Maurice from Washington, D.C., Brother George from Detroit, Brother Don from Boston, Brother Linwood from New York. These are the brothers who are helpers in the cause of Islam throughout America, helping Brother Farrakhan rebuild the nation of Islam. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, brother. We have also with us a special guest, one of the messengers, mighty helpers from Atlanta, Georgia, who went to get a guest, Brother Minister Abdul Rahman from Atlanta, Georgia. Also, we have with us Brother Prince Asiel Ben Israel. Would you please stand? All praises due to Allah. And we have a brother who helped the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and has come forth to help Brother Farrakhan in any way that he can. Mr. Tajiri, who is our Japanese brother, would he please stand? And also we have Brother Alexander Ben from the AARP representing that group. Would he please stand? And we're happy to be in the Alderman's district that we're in right now, and he's with us this afternoon, Alderman Streeter. Would he please stand? We have also a brother who has been a helper of ours in this whole work of building the building and counseling with us, brother who represents NBUF, Brother Olamenji, and also Brother Conrad World. Will you please stand? So brothers and sisters, one more person I want to recognize, and then I would like to turn the mic over to Brother Louis Farrakhan, who's going to come forward to speak to you, is a helper of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a minister that the messenger appointed, who also has come forward to help Brother Farrakhan to rebuild the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that is Brother Hastings Muhammad, who is in the rear of the auditorium. Thank you very much. At this time, brothers and sisters, I'd like to bring on a brother who I love very much and who has worked night and day. And I know something about Brother Farrakhan. As I told brothers, a few people that know him much better than me, but I know him pretty well. And I've worked with him now for 17 years. And I know something about Brother Farrakhan's love of black people and his desire to use what God has blessed him with. His ability to talk to black people. His ability, he's a very sensitive man. He's a very sharp man. I mean, he got a set of eyes. And the brothers who worked in this building, they will all bear witness that when he comes in, everything we miss, he sees. And the things that we don't see, he sees. So we thank Allah for him. And we pray to Allah that Allah will continue to bless him and strengthen him in this work. And it's an uphill struggle. And as I have said to my brothers in the work with us, I said, you can stand off and criticize the moves of Brother Farrakhan. You can say he should do it this way, he should be doing that. And he's pushing a cart up the hill. And if you want to help Brother Farrakhan, stop criticizing. You know the cart need to get to the top of the hill. That's black America. Why don't you put a shoulder on the cart, and as you push the cart with him, talk to him about your ideas. But don't stand in the distance and point to the direction that the cart should be pushed and you're not doing nothing yourself. So let's bring on Brother Louis Farrakhan.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the One God, to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds. And in the name of His true servant and last messenger, our beloved leader, teacher, and guide, the messenger of Allah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm very happy and honored to have this occasion to dedicate this building to the work and teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are very happy and honored that the words that we are speaking are being carried live to this city through radio station WBEE. And those of you who will listen to this series of broadcasts called The Respect for Life for the next 52 weeks, I can assure you and guarantee you that if you pay attention, you will have absolutely a better life than you are having at present.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We also would like to say that in the audience today, we have two of the daughters of Mr. Miller, who owned this building prior to our purchasing of this building. Mrs. Holmes and Miss Saunders on the third balcony. We'd like to thank them on behalf of all of us. We thank them for allowing us to purchase this building and the properties near it, and for allowing us to make this place meaningful to black people in a different way. As you know, this building was formerly a funeral parlor. And before that, it was a bank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But when the stock market fell, the bank died. And so when the bank died, the funeral parlor was born. Both the bank, the tragic demise of the bank, and the funeral parlor, the bank dealt with security of funds until it became insecure. And the funeral parlor dealt with the end of this life. which brings sadness to those who lost their loved ones who were buried from this edifice. This building is now called the Final Call. And some say this is a new kind of funeral parlor, evidently. Because anybody knows that when somebody gets the final call, that's it.
Go ahead, Brother Minister.
But this is not a funeral parlor. We call it the Final Call Administration Building. I want to explain its meaning first. The Respect for Life series will begin, if it be the will of Allah, next week. But this week I want to explain the building, its purpose, what it is designed to do in this community.
Yes, sir.
All over this building you see the final call and a trumpet. Now many might have thought that Louis Armstrong would appear here, or Miles Davis,
Go ahead, Brother Minister.
but no, not that kind of horn, not that kind of sound. But those of you who are familiar with the Bible and the Quran, you know that God has placed great significance in the trumpet. From the time of Aaron and Joshua all the way to the book of Revelations,
Go ahead, Brother Minister.
the final 7 trumpets that usher forth or bring in the judgment of an old world.
Brother Minister.
And that's why the building is appropriately called the Final Call, because when you get the final call for a plane, you know that there's no other sound that you will hear except the rumbling of the motors and the plane pulling out. So you better hurry and get on some time if you want to make your plane. When they say final call for the last train leaving to wherever that place of destination may be, you know it's time to put a move on. And when you're in a bar and they say it's the final call or the last call for alcohol, you know if you want to drink, you better get it quick because the bar is going to close down. Is that right? This is the final call. What do you mean, the final call? This means that you as black people in America are never going to hear the voice of another warner from God ever again before this country and this world goes under the judgment of Almighty God. This is the final call. All of you that are here and in our radio audience, you already know that something is taking place in the world of tremendous proportion and magnitude. You already know by the condition of your lives and the condition of your families and the condition of America and its economy that something of a great magnitude is happening. A great change is coming about. You may not know what the change is, but your nature tells you something is wrong somewhere. Something is going on that I need to understand. Our parents used to sing a song in slavery. My God, he calls me. Yes. He calls me by the thunder. Yes. Go ahead. I hear him call within my soul. I ain't got long to stay here. The final call means you don't have long to be a dope smoker and a wine drinker and a woman chaser. You don't have long to be crawling on your knees begging the white man to do for you what you could get up off your backside and do for yourself. This is the final call. A man of God has been in the midst of America for 44 years, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that man called us to life, and he called us to a work that would make black people independent and universally respected. And we reject rejected his call. Chicago rejected the man and rejected his call. America rejected the man and rejected his call. The government of America rejected the man and rejected his call. The Arabian Peninsula and the Arab world rejected the man and rejected his call. So now the world is threatened with the thing that both your Bible and Quran teach you will happen at the end of the world. But God is merciful to a stiff-necked, hard-hearted, and rebellious people. And he has given you a final call that you may get your act together, pull your life together, get our families together, move as a people instead of a tribe. Move as one nation for the good of us all, instead of a fragmented group of foolish people bent on destruction of one another. This is the final call. And if you don't act as you should act, you will not be alive to see this decade move into the 1990s. This is the end of your foolishness. This is the final call to call you to the wisdom of God's messenger that has walked among you, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It's the final call to a rebellious house that rebelled against him and followed the way of an opponent of his to come back to yourself. Come back to the path of God. This is the final call. And this is the trumpet that is being blown by a masterful trumpeter.
Talk to the world.
The Bible calls that trumpeter that would sound off in the last days Jibreel. Gabriel. He had a horn that was so powerful it affected the dead. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, one day when I sat with him, he said to me, brother, if there were any symbol that I could choose to represent my work, it would be the trumpet. For the trumpet is the symbol of the resurrection of the dead. So when we started this work, which is his work, why should not we choose a symbol that represents his work? In his book, Message to the Black Man, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, my mission is to give life to the dead. For all of these years, you have been falsely believing that the man and woman in the cemetery is going to get up at the sound of the trumpet and fly away to glory, when any good embalmer, or even a bad one, knows that when they take out of you what is in you,
Talk, brother minister.
and put you in the earth, and the earth accepts you back to itself, then there is nothing left for you to rise from. The resurrection of the dead is not a physical resurrection. It is a spiritual resurrection of people whose power has been killed under the filth and wickedness of a contrary way of life. You are the people of God, but you act like the people of Satan, because the God in you is dead under the false way of life that you are living. You are a dead people. Your community speaks of death. The buildings falling down around you. The streets filled with filth. Men and women of filth and cursing and foul, indecent acts. Parading the streets, parading their filth before the world. This is a community of death.
That's right.
And everywhere you move, it dies around you. Not because the community is dead, the buildings aren't dead, but the dead people live in the buildings. And because there's no life in your mind, you will not paint your walls. You will not remove your own garbage. You will not kill your own rats and rodents and cockroaches. You live in filth because you are dead. And you are dead because the trumpet has not sounded in your ear to arise the power of God in you and stand you up and make you alive again. But as this Quran says, I swear by Allah, if I am allowed to blow this trumpet of truth in your ears, give me 1 year. I don't need a long time, because I am backed by the power of Almighty God and His messenger to do exactly what I'm doing. In 1 year, we'll transform the south side of Chicago into what it should have been all along. We walked into this building, a funeral parlor, and I said, since life and death are not compatible, the living and the dead do not keep company. When one dies, you put him away from you immediately. No matter how much you love your dead loved one, when that loved one is dead, you don't sleep next to him. You get up out the bed and say, take him away. Where do you want him put? Anywhere. Just get him out of here. Because I'm alive. And living people want to keep company with the living. This is why nobody wants the friendship of the black man and woman of America, because you are dead and living, live, active people who are engaged in the business of building and maintaining and perpetuating a nation. Have no time for foolish people who have nothing to do but pop their fingers and party and boogie and get on down when you should be getting up. This building, the final call, is dedicated to life. As we moved into this building that was formerly dedicated to the honoring and burying of the dead, but Jesus said, let the dead bury their dead. Come on and follow me, because I've come to give you life and to give it to you more abundantly. So let the dead bury their dead, but this building is dedicated to the resurrection to life of 30 million black people in this country who must be raised up, who must hear the trumpet, who must come forth out of their graves and be themselves. The brothers, bless the brothers. Brothers who had never painted before.
Look at it.
Got up on a scaffold and began to paint.
Look at it.
Brothers who didn't know plumbing sat with those who did plumb.
Yeah. Talk.
And they went plumbing together.
Yeah.
The electricians, the carpenters, the skills that went into making and transforming this building into an edifice of exquisite beauty that you cannot find anywhere in the city of Chicago. This is an edifice of exquisite beauty, because living people with a mind to work, as Nehemiah said, went to work to make a place to house life. And they transformed the walls. They transformed doors. They brought dead covered brass and they made it shine again, as a sign of what this building intends to do for the community and for every person who comes into that door. We will take your life and transform your life. In a few days, you won't even know yourself. Because we intend to remove the sting of death and the mark of your grave and make you a new black man and a new black woman, so that when white folk drive in your community, they won't say, look at the niggers, look at how they cut and kill and shoot each other, but they'll say, look at these highly intelligent black men and women. Tip their hats like they used to do to your fathers when your father built the pyramids. They didn't call those builders niggers. And if you and I become builders again, no man will disrespect you and call you names. They will honor and respect you because you are worthy of it. The scriptures of the Bible and Holy Quran say the heavens and the earth declare the glory of God. God is not here telling you, here I am, I'm black and I'm proud.
Teach.
Worship me.
Teach.
He says, check my handiwork out.
Teach.
And if my works are not worthy for you to bow, then don't bow.
Teach.
But since you live in my universe, and my sun gives light, life, and energy to you, and my moon equalizes the waters of your planet that you may walk without being flooded or flooded. My stars give balance to the creation. Therefore, they are a work of justice. Since you got to live in my handiwork, I demand that you praise me. I demand that you give me honor. So you will come either willingly or unwillingly, but you will bow down. As the book says, every knee will bow. And every tongue will be forced to bear witness that he is God. Well, if that God makes us to know him by his works, how can you declare to the world that you have a PhD degree, a master degree, and that you're a learned man by a piece of paper? If you're a learned man by paper, but not a learned man or woman by works, then you have no learning at all.
That's right. That's right.
Do you agree?
That's right. Yeah.
So this is a house of work. And everyone that came in went to work. And we, by Allah's help, transformed this building as a sign that the word of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad will transform the lives of the people. The final call. This is not our temple. We didn't call it Muhammad's temple. This is not our mosque. This is the final call administration building. What do you have in here?
Yeah.
We'll have all of the offices that will administrate the final call newspaper, final call tapes, final call records, final call books.
Teach, brother.
Yes. Back behind this wall, you will have a computer room
Go on, brother minister.
where all of our work is computerized.
Teach.
And we intend to open up a computer training here, because this is the new age for black people and for people all over the world. If you don't keep up to date with the technology of the world, you will be left behind.
That's right. Go ahead.
So this is computer. We have our telex back behind here
Go on,
that we can keep in communication with governments of the world,
Teach.
because the final call is a trumpet that must be sounded throughout the earth.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk to Chicago.
Down below here, we have a printing press that will enable us to print all our flyers, all our posters, books,
Listen to
periodicals.
Listen.
We have typesetting machines that will allow us to typeset and to print. And across, down below you, where you sit, sisters, there's a final call, tape manufacturing, where we will manufacture our own cassettes, then reproduce these cassettes in a mass way, where we can job out and make jobs for those who want to work from this building. It's a final call to lazy people who want everybody to do something for them but don't want to do nothing for themselves, to come on and let's go to work. We got work to do. There ain't no stopping us now. Next to the Final Call Tape Reproduction and Manufacturing Center, there will be a radio recording studio and television studio downstairs. And every time I speak to you over these microphones, this will be videotaped for broadcast throughout the United States of America on cable television and soon on satellite to the world. Give me 1 year. From this building, down in the basement, we have turned an old vault that used to house money that went bad.
Talk, brother minister.
We got a vault and turned it into cold storage warehouse where 80,000 pounds of fresh frozen fish can be stored. We have our brother from Japan and his wife and his assistant from Japan and another sister from Japan visiting us. They're not visiting to talk foolishness.
Talk, brother minister.
The brother told me, I'm here, but I represent 100 million Japanese who want to see the black man rise. Alderman Streeter is a man that wants to see the community built up. We want to work hand in hand to build the community up.
That's right.
Make our community a decent place to live.
That's right.
And you cannot make the community a decent place to live until you make the people that live in the community decent people.
That's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
All right. So Mr. Tajiri will help us to bring in millions of pounds and hundreds of thousands of tons of fish into the United States of America. 1 block away from here, we soon will build, within the next month, if it be the will of Allah, a fish house that will cost $250,000 when completed.
Yes, sir.
Why you gotta put $250,000 on the corner?
Come on, brother minister.
Because we love black people. And we are tired of people running away from black people instead of running to our people. Our people will respect you if you show you're alive.
That's right.
They love this building.
That's right.
The community loves it.
That's right.
They may be Christians, they may be nationalists, they may be socialists or communists, whatever their persuasion. But any people love work that shows dignity.
Go ahead, brother minister. Talk to Chicago.
How can you dignify your people if you're always going running out of the black community, putting your business in other communities because you're afraid of your own? Yes.
Come on, brother minister.
All the gang leaders in the city of Chicago, by God's help, we intend to sit down and talk with them. Why not? Why should black men and women kill each other to the joy of the 400-year-old killer of us all?
Go ahead, brother minister.
Why should you, mother, bear your children and then turn your children into gangs where they become hoodlums? Because this is a country that promotes money and luxury.
That's right.
And they know that they can't get a job. So the easiest thing for them to do is to be told, you can sell dope. Or to the beautiful sister, you can sell yourself. No, beloved, you won't sell dope and you will not sell yourself.
Go ahead, brother minister. Talk to
Well, what are you going to do? You can't tell young people you shouldn't be out here gang banging and you haven't given them an alternative.
Teach, brother minister.
Black leadership can say, isn't it a shame the way our young people are praying, P-R-E-Y-I-N-G, on one another while you are P-R-A-Y-I-N-G?
Go ahead, brother minister.
Isn't it a shame what our youth are turning into? No, brother intellectual, sister intellectual, the shame is that you've come out of college with a pocket full of degrees and you are not using those degrees to open up a way for your young people to demonstrate the gift of God that is within them. So because they gravitate toward drugs, that's not their fault. That is a condemnation of black leadership. That's a condemnation of every black preacher that is preaching salvation, telling the world that Jesus saves and a community is going to hell. Jesus does save, but Reverend, you first have to be saved and get on out of the church and get into the street and save the people. Go ahead, And so, when this fish comes into the United States, we intend to go out and comb the neighborhood for our young brothers and say, come on, young man. We got work to do. Come on, young man. He may say, I want money. I say, come on, young man. You can have money. That's the first thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that God promised us. Money, good homes, and friendship in all walks of life. But you got to work to earn it. Come on, young man.
That's right.
Can you sell fish? Well, don't have to worry. You don't have to sell it. It will sell itself. All you got to do is carry it.
That's right.
People are hungry.
Yeah.
People are losing food stamps, losing jobs. If you can bring them 5 or 10 pounds of frozen fish that is from clean waters, that mother, that father that receives that will look at you as a savior. They'll pay you the money for the fish, and part of it, and the major part of it, will be in the hands of the fish salesperson. And when that brother sells his fish and comes up with $250, $300 a week, he's a young man. He may not need $300.
Teach, Brother Minister.
You're going to take it from him? Gently. We'll say to that young man, if you only need 150, let's pool 150 of that. And when all these young men pool that money every week in a treasure that they become the boss of, then in a month, 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, instead of the gang leader saying, you in my territory that he doesn't own, that gang leader can say, yes, what's in this treasure? Let's buy up this building.
That's right. That's right.
Buy up your community. Own it.
Yes.
And when the young people own their own community, then they have an interest in building it up and not in tearing it down because they are the landlord.
Yeah. Teach, Brother Minister.
Don't you want to be the landlord?
Yeah.
Don't the Jews own their community?
Yeah.
Don't the Irish own their community?
Yeah.
Don't the Greeks and the Poles own their community? What's wrong with the black man? Why must everybody own where we live?
Talk, Brother Minister.
And then you can tell the lawmaker how you want the law to read. Because it's money. It's not your vote. It is money that makes things happen. And if you don't have no money, you are a beggar and at the mercy of those who have it. Don't you want it? Well, let's go get it. It's ours. Let's take back our community. Take it back with dollars that we earn. Or say, take it back. I want to frighten the people to death.
Teach, Brother Minister.
We'll take it back through owning it, buying it, building it up, cleaning it up.
Go ahead, Brother Minister.
And then the young brothers whom you are terrified of today, you will see those young brothers proud of what they own. Hey, brother, don't throw no garbage there. Put it in the garbage can. That's my building.
That's right. That's right.
Watch them change when they own something. Watch a black man when he owns a car. Don't sit on that. Don't breathe on it. Your breath is not too kosher.
Go on, brother minister. Talk to
The black man loves to own something.
That's right.
And he loves to take care of what he owns.
That's right.
And he don't want junk. He wants something beautiful.
Yes.
But you got to learn, brother and sister, that you got to take junk and make it beautiful.
That's right. That's right.
You are junk.
Yeah.
And God is taking you and making you and me beautiful to show you and me how we can take junk and make it beautiful.
That's right.
That's the work of the final call. And when we develop the monies that we need to build our national center, then we will have Muhammad's temple. Then we will have a mosque, a house of prayer.
That's right.
But right now, it's the final call.
That's right.
Administration building. It's a workhouse. And all those who have a mind to work,
Yes.
come on, brothers and sisters. If you come here, by God's help, we will put you to work and we will build our community and make it a decent place to live. This once was a bank. And you can bank on this,
Come on, brother minister.
that the truth that comes from the lips of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that which will make you secure.
That's right.
The banks are failing. The truth will never fail if you act on its principles.
That's right.
So this beginning on 79th Street and Halstead, near Halstead, this beginning in this wonderful community, by Allah's help, we intend to make this community an example for others. We need your help. We desire that you who are visiting here today, you who are listening on the radio today, understand that there is no heaven that you're going to go to that you won't have to work.
That's right. That's right.
Don't worry about heaven after you're dead. Let's try and get it here.
Yes, sir.
Jesus prayed not for a kingdom in the sky.
Listen to him.
He prayed for a kingdom to come. Where? On earth. So if God's kingdom is to come to the earth, and Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you, then that means in order for the kingdom of heaven to come forth out of you, you must be raised from a dead level. And when you are raised from a dead level and the power of God begins to come from you and you become a living people, then no one else will come in your community to set up business. You will do that
That's right.
for yourself. You will say, oh, I wear clothes. You'll finally understand.
Yes.
I wear clothes.
That's right.
Why should not I make the clothes that I wear?
Yes.
I wear shoes.
Yes.
Why should not I produce the shoes that I wear? No people who are non-productive can be respected by any people as an equal.
That's right.
We're going to ask the help of the nations of the earth.
Yes.
Help the black man get up on his feet. And I might say here very boldly, that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that there will be no peace anywhere on this earth until the black man's problem, which is the problem of the nations, is solved.
That's right. That's true.
Many people put us in this condition.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Brother Arab.
Yeah.
You had a party,
Yeah.
or you were a party to our coming into slavery. Think it over. Yes, sir, Mr. Jews. History shows us that the Jewish people had a part in the slave trade. The English people, the Europeans, had a part in the slave trade. You brought our fathers here, and then you stripped us of all of the knowledge of ourselves, robbed us of our name, language, culture, history, God, religion, flag.
Teach.
And then you denied us the privilege to study and know and learn. Hitched us up like mules and cattle and sold us like you sell your property. Dehumanized us. And then after you let us go, you still wouldn't restore unto us what you and your fathers took away. Now your country is being brought down. The Jews now are set about by enemies, and even America is turning sour on Israel. The Arab world is in great confusion today. England and Europe is going down into the bottomless pit of hell. Why? Because you had a part in bringing the people of God into this condition. And now if you want to get out of your misery, I think you better hear the trumpet. I think America, I think Arab world, I think Jewish people, I think European people, you better tune in every week and listen and live. You have a chance if you take the time to get out of your misery. These are the people that your people have put in this condition. So I'm coming back to the people that put us in this condition, and I'm going to ask you in the name of Allah and his messenger to help get the people that you put in this condition out of this condition, not by food stamps, Mr. Reagan, not by government handouts, Mr. Reagan, not by Jewish philanthropy, nor by Arab grants of cheap money. But I want you to help us in a meaningful way. Help us to go for ourselves. Help us to do for ourselves. Help us to be independent. Then God's favor will smile on you. And maybe the Jew and the Arab will be able to sit down in peace.
Listen to him.
Maybe Europe and America will be able to get their economic problem solved. But you are proud and arrogant.
That's right.
You think you are more powerful than you really are. And so you probably will say, that's no trumpet for me. Then behind me will come 7 more. And when those 7 start, you will wish you heard this one. So may God bless you. And may God keep you. And may God lift up his countenance upon you, beloved black people of Chicago. That you and I and we working together, political men, religious men, social scientists, intellectuals of every kind, people of every skill. Let us work to build our community and build up our people. And God will say that the final call has been heard. Let us spare Nineveh. You can spare your house if you will. Those of you who love this broadcast and want to help us, if you want to be a part of this mighty work of rebuilding the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you call this number right now. There are secretaries waiting for your call. That's 994-5775. 994-5775. And let's get busy and build our community. thank you for listening, and may God bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
I want to thank Brother Farrakhan.
Thank you. Brothers and sisters, I guess the broadcast is over now. Can I say something to you? You know, I am so honored by your attendance here today. And I hope that you will make this a regular stop once a week. Yeah, twice a week. In fact, let's stay all week long.
Yeah. That's it.
I thank these wonderful students of the ministry of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for honoring us with their presence. It came from as far away as California, the deep south. We have some that are out of the country, and we didn't feel that they should come and spend that kind of money to get here. But this is a beautiful beginning.
That's right.
We're not finished yet with the building, as you probably didn't even notice. But we are going to take another month of work to complete this building. And if Brother Larry,
Yes, sir.
oh, here you are. Notice I was looking up for you. I thought you'd gone to heaven, brother. I want to say right now that every brother that used a brush or carpenter that put a nail in a piece of wood, and you know how grateful we are for your efforts. I knew that the Muslims didn't know what we had in mind. And as they were hammering, they still couldn't see where the building was going. I knew that. And with every passing day that something else came into the building, they said, man, what is this? We had a brother here that heard one of my tapes, and he called one day. He wanted to join up. And that brother called my home, and they referred him to the building, and he was talking with one of the brothers, and we learned that he was an upholsterer. We said, come on, brother. Not just to join up. Come on, we got work for you. And that brother transformed some upholstery in here. And when we finish, you go around and look at this brother's work. And if you ever need any upholstery, that brother, I tell you, brother, you will never have to worry about work again. Would you please stand, brother? Did the upholstery. What is his name? Brother David Johnson. Thank you, Brother David. Now look at this rostrum here, or podium. Isn't it? Isn't
Yes.
it? Isn't it exquisite? I know you was asking what store I bought it in.
First class.
But a brother, he just wanted to help to make this building you know, what he wanted it to be. And he came up with this exquisite piece of work. And he saw me leaning sometime on the rostrum, so he built me something that I could lean on. Brother Herbert, would you please stand? We were walking down the street one day and a lady came up behind me. She said, "Oh, mister, I'd like to speak to somebody. I make drapes." And I said, "You do? What is your number?" Called her back the next day, and I mean, this sister took care of business. I mean, she made the drapes in so fast, they were right back. This sister did a beautiful job. Her name is Miss Slaughter. Is she here? Miss Maddie Slaughter. There she is. You want any draperies made in your house? Oh, you better call Sister Maddie. Forget about these fellas, Olson Carpet,
That's right.
and all the rest of them. Now listen, the carpet that was laid in here. I know Brother Wade Brown isn't here, but that man is a master. He laid this carpet. This building is carpeted from top to bottom. No cheap stuff.
First class. First class.
That's the way we should go.
First class.
We've been last class so long, only way for us to go is first class. Is that right?
That's right.
And so, Brother Wade Brown, I know he's not here, but Wade Brown and his company, they did all of the carpentry. Lloyd Moore Construction Company. He built the lot. Well, he did some of everything for us. He went beyond what any contract would call for. That's because he's more than a contractor. He's a brother that loves to see black people doing progressive things. Brother Lloyd Moore. Brother Miles and the crew did the painting. Brother Emmanuel, we brought him up from St. Louis, and we don't really want to let him go. And Brother Gerald, I don't know where Brother Gerald is. Poor brother may be getting a little rest now. But look at these chandeliers.
Look.
We called a white man in here
Listen.
and said, "Mr. White folks, what would you charge us to clean all this brass?"
Listen.
He says, "Good God." He says, "I think that may be a Tiffany ceiling." He says, "You better look up and see if the Tiffany's sign is on there, because if it is, that's $250,000 that you're looking at." That's what he said. He looked at the chandeliers. He said, "Phew." You know how they talk. He said, that's $40,000 just in those two. He went away and said, "We'll clean all the brass in this building for $18,000
Listen.
just to clean the brass." We saw a black man. He didn't look too cool.
Isn't it beautiful?
In fact, the brother was reeking a little bit.
on top, brother minister.
But the brother said, give them to me, I'll clean them up.
Yeah, yeah.
And the brother brought back those fixtures that you see upstairs. You'll see them as you move through the building. And I want you to know that this is yours. Everything that we own is yours. We're not building for just us. We're building for black people.
That's administrators, that's all.
See?
That's administrators, that's all.
So, brother, that brother lost the job because he was moonlighting on his white boss. And when his boss found out that the poor brother was doing this work for us at night, he lost his job. And we gave him some more work and some more money. And finally, when it got down to the real wire, only white folks had the kind of vats that you could put these big brass doors into and get them cleaned. And they charged us for it. When you walk out that door, you may blind yourself with how shiny that brass is. But these chandeliers, the white man charged us $7,000 a piece. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
About right to
Yes,
clean
sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
And Brother Gerald, I saw him up there one night. I wonder what Brother Gerald is doing with a toothbrush and polish. And I mean patience. He worked through the night back into the day. And that looked like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Will every brother and sister that had anything to do with making this building what it is, if you're standing, will you raise your hands? And if you're sitting, would you please stand? Wherever you are, just stand. Because I think everyone, give them a... Oh, praise you, Jesus. Now, this brother with the camera walked up to us and said, I can help you here. This building will have a security system. It'll have cameras on that door and a walk-through metal detector. When you hit the door, if you got the wrong thing on you, you ring.
Oh.
And we'll be right there to help you. There'll be an antenna on this building that will allow us with two-way radios to be in contact with each other from all over the city. We thank our brother for videotaping our first video of this dedication, Mr. Ed Willett. And there's another brother that came, Brother Ed Willett, and Brother Charles Stewart. I think that's brother up there in the balcony from St. Louis. And through the good offices of Mr. Tajiri, you know the Japanese are the best in the world when it comes to technology.
Yes, that's right.
And through Mr. Tajiri, we hope that the Japanese will aid us in putting in a fine television system right here where we will be making fine videotapes for cable TV and for satellite TV.
Think about it.
Now those doors in the back with the,
Look at it.
are they beautiful? You notice the two crescents are going in different directions. One crescent represents the Eastern Islam, and the other one represents the new nation coming up in the West.
Go on, brother minister.
And you see them both together.
Yeah, go on, brother.
That's the way it's going to end up.
Yes, that's right.
East and West will meet.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I think as you move through this building, would you, Brother Larry, would you send for the picture of the fish house? Just one more thing to show you, okay? You comfortable?
Yes, sir. Air conditioning.
You do feel at home?
Yes, sir. Air conditioning.
This is your home. This is your home. And I want to especially thank, while the brothers are going, Brother Olamenji,
Yes.
who is our brother and our friend, who offered us the knowledge of the men that he knew that could help us to make this building what it is. And I want to especially thank Asiel Ben Israel, my brother and comrade in struggle, the Hebrew Israelite nation. When he walked in, he just, well, I guess he went to holler, and he felt the peace. And this is home for him. As we are welcome in any place where the Hebrew Israelites meet, they are welcome here with us. This is home. And any Christian minister who is here, this is home.
That's right.
We're going to work as brothers, Muslims and Christians
That's what we
together.
need, brother minister.
Lou Myers is here. I see him on the back wall, our great attorney. Lou Myers, he's for criminal law whenever we get in problems. And we have our attorney, corporate and business attorney, Brother Aninkara. Brother Aninkara, would you please stand? He's our attorney. One block east of here, we're going to build a beautiful restaurant, which I want to show you as soon as they rush it down. And I know the brothers are moving quickly, but it does take time to get from heaven. I mean, if you could stand up here and just look up. This is, I mean, when they built this building, I think they had Solomon's temple somewhat in mind. It looks like they had something of old Israel in mind. And I want the Hebrew Israelite brothers to see that on every tier of this chandelier, which was specially made, there's the six-pointed star of David. Isn't that something? So if there are any members of the disciples here, you don't have to write on the wall. We got it in the ceiling.